Hey y'all, it's Nikki, the glam teacher, and I'm gonna stop saying hey y'all because I mean I gotta give y'all a name. So you guys are gonna be called the Glam Crew. Okay, Glam Crew, y'all see me? Am I looking thick? I'm looking thick, Glam Crew. This is my drain right here. That's all my booty. Sis sitting nice. So I am feeling a lot better since my last video. And shout out to my roommates for all their kindness and the people at the recovery house, people that have came to my inbox and said nice things. I appreciate y'all. I've gotten so many questions and stuff, so I'm just gonna do a little video explaining how things have been since the day I left. And a quick tip for y'all: if you're trying to build your hemo up, and let's say you got a week before surgery, take molasses, black strap molasses. Mix that with some liquid iron and get some chlorophyll drops. I ordered all that off Amazon. Chlorophyll drops. It has a little bit of mint, like mint peppermint oil in it, so it tastes good. Add that to a bottle of water, drink it. Then you can do your molasses, black strap molasses, and put that in with some liquid iron and drink that. You can use Spatatone, Spataspore. Y'all know I'm hard. It's hard for me to pronounce things. It's really hard. But use liquid iron, molasses, and it'll build you up. I was at a 13.1. Day of when I did my labs, I was 14.1. And that molasses is what did it, y'all. I got that from another vet, so I am spreading the information. Remember, each one teach one. There y'all go. Get y'all hemo up with that molasses. Whew. It's still a little hard for me to breathe sometimes. And if I don't, kind of keep like a good rhythm with my breathing, trying to catch up with my breathing, I'd be like, woo, woo. So I had a tummy tuck. That's it. Tummy tuck, muscle repair. He did a little bit of lipo to my sides, but that's it. That's all I had, y'all. Tummy tuck, muscle repair. My results look bomb. Pre-op, yeah, I did the molasses. So let's talk about when you first get here, y'all. Do wheelchair service for your arrival and departure. I learned this trick a long time ago. Every time I fly international, I have to do wheelchair service. It gets you through security fast. It gets you through immigration and custom fast. I'm gonna tell you, one time I did not use wheelchair service. I was in line for 3 hours. 3 hours. And then people in wheelchairs just zoom, peace out. Like, yeah, I can't say I'm handicapped now. I'm already in line. But yeah, when you book your flight, you wheelchair service, flying out, and it makes your process getting through the airport a lot quicker because the person pushing you, assisting you, knows exactly where to go. They know exactly what information you need. They know which paper you're gonna need. On the airplane, you're gonna fill out some paperwork. I don't know what exactly all the papers are, but it was like 4 different papers that I had to fill out. And the person pushing me in a wheelchair, she didn't speak English, but she said pasaporte, and I knew pasaporte was my passport. I gave her the passport and the stack of papers, and she separated out and gave it to the people that needed it. I was out quick. And as I told y'all before, make sure before you fly out, you know who is picking you up, a picture of them, and you have made your own personal connection with this person. I text my driver and was like, hey, I'm in wheelchair service, coming out in a few minutes. And when I came out, rolling in the wheelchair, he knew exactly who I was in the wheelchair. And he had a sign with my name on it. And I knew it was him because I looked at his face on WhatsApp. And there was another girl that he was picking up. He had already picked her up. He took my bags, put them in the car, and he told me to wait. And he went and got the car. And no, Did he go get the car? No, not this time. He didn't go get the car. We walked over to the car. Um, but yeah, so the airport flow went real easy in that wheelchair, y'all. I thought I would be going to go get my lab straight, but they brought me to the recovery house. Once I was at the recovery house, they explained to me that I'm not going to be here at that recovery house because my bed at their other location, somebody had ended up extending their stay, and I would go to that bed after surgery. And the reason being is because I paid for the price for a quadruple room, and the room that they had me in temporarily was a double room. And I'm guessing there is a price difference. Also, I paid for my oxygen treatments because I wanted to do those treatments. I wanted to do 2 before surgery and 3 after surgery. And they're $100 each. The reason why I picked this recovery house, one of the top reasons why I picked this recovery house, is because I was told they had the oxygen chamber on site. It's not on site, y'all. And I'm going to do a full, complete review on the recovery house because a lot of things that they advertise is not the case. And I'm paying a pretty good price to stay here daily. And it's not bad here at all, but it could have some improvements. I still would recommend them. And I'm going to give y'all a complete review on that recovery house and with the name of the recovery house. I have not put out who my doctor is, where I'm staying at. I will do that in a future video. And it's kind of rude when y'all be in my inbox saying, stop protecting the doctor, stop protecting them. You need to tell us the doctor's name. No. I don't need to tell you anything. I don't need to tell y'all nothing yet. I don't even need to tell nobody I had surgery. I'm just sharing this experience with other people because this is how I learned and how I'm making it through. Because if I hadn't been watching other people's videos, asking questions and just reading, doing research, watching different reviews, then guess what? I would be in a shitty ass position. Like, yeah. So when I paid them, they gave me a receipt. Make sure you get a receipt for everything. And I'm definitely going to tell you why you need to get a receipt because they will come at you for more money. And you need to have proof like I paid for it or they're going to be like, no, give us more money. And that's what everywhere you go, whether you're buying a faja at the pharmacy, get a receipt for it. So that night, I just chilled around the house, talked to the other girls. The next morning, and at this time, y'all, in the last video, I told y'all my doctor wasn't being responsive, right? So I'm just like, well, in the morning, I'm gonna go do labs probably. My roommate, she was Spanish speaking, and she said, no, like they should be reaching out to you. If they're not reaching out to you, you need to go to the clinic and show up. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna show up. I'm just gonna wait till they respond. Long story short, I told y'all in the other video what happened. A driver came pick me up, and I went and did my labs. And in America, you're supposed to fast before you do your labs. They did not tell me to fast, but a lot of the girls in the recovery house that had different doctors, their doctors told them to fast before they did their lab work. So I was like, that's pretty common sense. My doctor didn't tell me, but I'm going to fast as well. So the next afternoon, my driver took me to a place where I gave my blood and they did whatever test they need to run, my hemo test, blood test, HIV. I gave urine, did a pregnancy test. Your driver is going to be a big help during this stage. Well, they should be being a big help during this stage because there was like a little bit of a wait getting my labs done. And, people was trying to cut in line and go before me. And he was telling them in Spanish, whatever. And then somebody tried to go in front of me. He closed the door on them and grabbed me and was like, come on, it's your turn. So these people will try to run and push ahead of you. You don't have to have a nasty attitude about it, but you definitely got to stand up for yourself and not just let people push past you and cut in line when there's not really a line, but you know who was there before you and you know who came behind you. So you just need to be monitoring that because people will try to get in front of you and you will just be sitting there for hours and ain't made no progress because you might have to go different places for different tests. I don't know what this is, but we're going to talk about that. So, did that, and then I had to go to another place to get blood for my COVID test. I paid $50 at this place. And yeah, it was odd that I was in a recovery house around other girls trying to recover and didn't even have a COVID test done yet. So, thankfully I didn't have it, but that's just kind of scary, y'all, letting just anybody come in and not being checked for COVID because, you don't want to get sick while you're already trying to heal. Did my COVID test, and then my driver dropped me off at the clinic. And I didn't know where to go. And he was just like telling me to get out the car. And I'm like, well, where do I go? And then he had got like a guard at the door to escort me to my doctor office because at the time, this was my first time going there. I didn't know where he was. Went into my doctor's office, sat down with the assistant. She showed me pictures of her kids. This is a secretary assistant because remember he got a secretary assistant and like a nurse assistant. She showed me pictures of her kids. We talked for a second, good experience. And she told me what my price would be. I told her what I wanted. I said, I'm not concerned about no big booty. I might go for a round two. I might not. I'm not concerned with my breasts. I just want this extra stomach on and to be able to fit my clothes how I used to could fit them before I had a baby and gained all this weight. So the price actually was a lot lower than what I was quoted in WhatsApp. I think it was like $700 less than what I was quoted. And that was only for the tummy tuck, the muscle repair, and side lipo. I didn't need no other extra anything, no arm lift, no back lift, no thigh nothing, no. So, that was fair that, they gave me a good price for it. I paid. She gave me a receipt and said, your surgery is going to be tomorrow at this time. You're going to be first. And I was like so happy about that. And then she said I needed to go upstairs to the third floor and do my EKG and chest x-ray. And I believe they make everybody do a chest x-ray, whether you're a smoker or not. But you cannot hide if you are a smoker. And they will be able to tell by that chest x-ray. And then that's when you have to do further testing. And that's when you need to have extra money. Also, pre-op, what I did was separate my money out. So I separated my money out instead of having just a big wad of cash and just peeling off money and not keeping track of what I'm spending. I separated my money in envelopes. So like right here, this is an envelope for $240 for the pain pump. I did not get the pain pump, so this is $250 that I'm gonna come home with. This envelope, $300 for blood. I did not need blood before surgery. I was a 14.1. After surgery, they do check your blood, your hemos again. And after surgery, I was a 13. Extra cash for extra cash, just to have. I haven't used my extra cash, but my extra cash, I'm almost done with that because I've been using transportation. I had to get outside massages, food, y'all. But I'm going to tell y'all about that in my recovery house review. And don't let these drivers get you. Let me quick tip, y'all. Make sure you got the Uber app on your phone so you can order Uber Eats if you need to go somewhere and you're, well enough to go. Now, 2 days out of surgery, I don't think you should be using Uber to go somewhere. But pre-op and definitely like a week after surgery, you can use Uber and be pretty comfortable and safe doing so. I used Uber today, had no problems. Some of the people in recovery house workers, they gave me a stank look. Like, yeah, I'm out of here. Y'all not about to keep me in here. And I'm using Uber. Y'all not about to overcharge me to go 5 minutes down the street. I'm not paying $15 for a 5-minute ride. No. But so you go upstairs to the third floor and do your chest x-ray. Now, a lot of people don't speak English. You can use your translator app. Some people will actually listen. Other people will be like, and keep it moving. But you need to make sure you're in the right place. Make sure your name is on the list. If that's how they're doing it, make sure your name is on the list. But just make sure they know that you're there. You need a chest x-ray instead of just walking in and sitting down and expecting them to just know to call you and know what you're sitting in that little office for. When it came time to do the EKG, that line was super long. It was a long wait. And it's not just your doctor in the clinic, there's other doctors. So you gotta think about all the girls your doctor is doing plus the other doctors in the clinic. Put your name on the list, or however, like when it first happened, I went over there and I said, is this for the EKG, the cardiologist? They understood I was needing a cardiologist. And they said, yeah, they pointed him to me. He spoke English. And I said, I need you to cardiologist. I'm with Dr. So-and-so. And he was like, okay, come out here in the hallway and sit. There was no places to sit. So he was like, just stand here. I stood there maybe for about 20, 30 minutes, and I got tired. It was hot. And let me tell y'all, air conditioning be in like, okay, say you have air conditioning in the room, but in the hallway, there's no air conditioning. So the hallway was hot and it was filled with other people. So I went back in and I asked a different nurse. I found one that spoke English. And I'm like, I need to see a cardiologist. And she's like, oh, write your name on a list. I'm like, list? I've been waiting a half hour already. It's a list? Okay, but let me write my name on a list. And then she said the cardiologist had an emergency. He had to step out. You can go get lunch and come back. And I'm like, nope, I'm going to be right here waiting. So a couple people, I guess they got up, left, and whatever. I took their seat. I waited right there. And remember, their main language, their first language is Spanish, right? So when they call your name, it might not sound like they're calling your name. So make sure when they call names, and they only call it 1 and 2 times, if you don't hear your name called, they go on to the next person. So you need to be listening, and if they call your name or it sounds like your name, you need to confirm. Did you call for Nikki? Nikki so-and-so? Oh, that's not me. But no, I'm Nikki, so you called on me. I'm Nikki. But the person you just called ain't me. It sounded like me. But just remember, when you need Nikki, that's me. Come get me, because I'm trying to, get it moving. So that's how that went. By the time I came back to the clinic where my doctor is, my blood results from a different location. You can go to like 2 or 3 different places for all your lab work. Well, I did. She told me my hemo was at the 14.1. And she was like, my surgery is going to be the first surgery of the day. Now, when it comes to surgery, at this clinic I was at, they share the OR, the operating room. So you might feel like you're waiting hours and hours and hours for surgery, and you're like, wow, my doctor must be doing 10 girls for the day because it's taking all day for him to get to me. Your doctor probably at home sleep because there's another doctor in the operating room doing his dolls, okay? So don't let that scare you away and think that your doctor is tired and overworked and, because that's how I was feeling. But I'm like, nah, not my doctor. This ain't no chop shop. No. So, the night before surgery, well, actually the first day when I arrived, I cleaned myself with Dial soap, antibacterial soap. The next night I used antibacterial soap. Surgery night, I did the soap, antibacterial Dial soap. And then I woke up and then took another shower right before I was leaving out. And I did it with the hibicillin. Did I say that right? Y'all know I can't pronounce stuff now. So the hibicillins. Yeah. Take a shower with that. I've heard some dolls say they didn't know that and they never took a shower with it and everything was fine. So I guess that's just your preference. My doctor office did not tell me to do that, but from reading and researching and hearing about other dolls' journeys, I just pretty much formed in my head that this was the right thing to do. Let me go ahead and do it because I don't want to mess nothing up come surgery day. I don't need no reason to cause any complications. And that's how you just got to look at it. You got to make sure you do your research, watch videos, even look at other dolls that are going to different doctors. It don't have to be your specific doctor. And just kind of formulate in your head what best works and what best doesn't work. Everybody's experience is going to be different, but you just always want to know and make sure you don't want no complications, whatever it takes to prevent complications and have the best experience for yourself. Now y'all might think things got shaky for me. I was all crying in my last video. Yeah, but overall my surgery experience has been good. And I got what I came here for. I love my results. Surgery day, I was told to be there at 7 a.m. My driver picked me up at 6:30. Most of the time when you have appointments, they're going to come get you between 20 and 30 minutes early. So be ready. Ooh, my mouth dry. Be ready for when your driver comes. I got to the clinic. I filled out some paperwork, and that was it for that. And then I was just pretty much, it was waiting. No eating, no drinking after 9 p.m. or while you're waiting. Around 1 o'clock. Was it one? No, it was around 12:30. The nurse came and got me and was like, "It's time for surgery." And before even 12 o'clock came, y'all know, I waited 2 hours. I went to the desk and I had my Google Translator, and it said like, am I in line? Am I on the list waiting for my doctor for surgery? And she said, yeah, the doctor's not here yet, but when he comes, we'll get you. I'm like, all right. I just had to double check, make sure they knew who I was waiting for, what I was waiting for, because I did not want my time wasted. They come get you, say it's time for surgery. You go to like a little back room. Now there's gonna be other rooms. It's just like a room with curtains as the divider. You change into, you take everything off, you put on like a little blue cap, you put on a surgery gown, surgery shoes. They gave me surgery underwear, like a little thong that did not fit. It was horrible. They rolled me down to like a basement, y'all. It looked like a basement. My heart was beating out of my chest, and I'm just like, okay, it's good. I done everything to prepare myself. I'm good. And it happened so fast. Like literally, I had text my family. I was like, hey, I'm getting prepped for surgery. My doctor's office said they will provide me an overnight nurse. I don't know who the nurse is. And see, with me, I carry my money everywhere. Your recovery house might have lock boxes. Let me show y'all the lock boxes at my recovery house. This is actually my room. My room. Did my butt look big? Hold on, let me see the mirror. Okay. All right. But these are the lock boxes my doc or recovery house provides, y'all. I carry my money everywhere. I didn't use no little lock box. If somebody gonna rob you, they gonna rob you. Okay. I seen some girls carrying a lock box on their shoulder like a purse. Anybody could have walked up, snatched that lock box right off your arm, and broke into it. If they're gonna rob you, they gonna rob you. Wearing them cute little fancy panties or hiding your money on your body. If somebody want to snatch you up, strip you of your clothes and take the money off you, they can do that. They're going to do that if they want to do it. No reason to like try and be all scared. Oh, I'm scared carrying this much money. Da, da, da. I don't know. Maybe because I travel alone a lot. So solo traveling is not a scary thing to me. Doing stuff on my own is not scary to me. I had money on me the whole time. I mean, if it was a reason why somebody would have got me for my money. Maybe it wasn't fit for me to have surgery, whatever the case may be, but I was safe and comfortable. I left my book bag with my money in it and my stuff, my overnight stuff, with the lady that prepped me for surgery, the hospital's nursing staff. Your overnight bag. Pack your t-shirt that you're going to wear under your faja. Pack some wipes. Pack, what else did I need? Wipes, the t-shirt, your compression socks. And I actually woke up with compression socks from my doctor, but I had packed my own little compression socks. And pack your pain medicine, because when you wake up, if you don't have a pain pump or whatever the case may be, the numbness might have wore off for you, and you might need your pain medicine, honey. That's all I needed. And my phone, I had my phone and a portable charger with me, and that was it. That was my overnight bag. But make sure you have those little things that way when you wake up, they can wipe you off with the wipes, put on your tank top and your faja. When I woke up, I was in a binder. And the reason why you wear that t-shirt under your faja is to prevent lipo burn, which I got a little bit of lipo burn from my faja digging in my skin where it creases, even with the t-shirt. So you get prepped for surgery. They roll you down to the basement, the dungeon. You're in the dungeon. I did not get no blue pill. I don't know what's up with the blue pill, but I did not get the blue pill. Maybe because I did not look scared or anxious. I was happy. I was excited. I'm like, hola, surgery. I was happy. They gave me, the doctor came in, and I'm in the recovery. You have like a recovery room after when you're fresh out of surgery. Some girls were still sleeping from the anesthesia. Some girls was looking around, crying, moaning in pain. I wasn't scared. Some people might be frightened with that, but I wasn't frightened. But just know you're going to be in that room. My doctor marked me up, didn't say nothing, did the little marking, boom, boom, boom. And he was gone in like a minute. He was gone in a minute. Um, another nurse came in, put the IV. They put the IV in your hand, and I was sitting in like a little chair in a little surgery gown, naked. It's freezing cold back there. They put the IV in, the IV drip, and she was like, "Hold on, let me see if the OR is ready for you." She spoke a little English. I understood what she was trying to say. Uh, and then she came back and got me. I walked into the OR room myself and sat on the operating table myself. My doctor was standing in the hallway behind me, and he was kind of just looking. And another nurse came up and she started putting something in my IV. And another nurse came up and she was standing in front of me with her hands out. And I'm like, "Is we about to start praying?" Like, "Oh, heck, a prayer. And my last request." And she putting the white stuff in my hand. I'm like, "Ooh, that burn." And then I'm reaching for her to pray. And as I'm reaching for her to pray, or so I thought we was going to pray, my ass was out. I don't remember. I was asleep, y'all. Put me out. And whatever that white stuff is they put in my IV, it stung a little bit, but it put me out. I need some water, y'all. My lips is dry. But that stuff put me out. So then I woke up in the recovery room. No, actually, they must have put me in the recovery room, and then I recovered and was still sleeping, and then put me like in my hospital room. Because I don't remember waking up in that recovery room where I first started. I didn't. I did not wake up during surgery. And when you're prepping for surgery, they're going to ask you, how much do you weigh? How tall are you? And I think that's it. But based on the information you give them, it's for the anesthesiologist so that they know how much to give you and put you to sleep. Now, if you telling them you weigh less or you shorter or whatever, and the measurements is off, that's when you're waking up during surgery, and they have to give you more anesthesia to put your ass back to sleep. But I guess they measured me right. I gave them the right information, and I was good to go. Woke up. My overnight nurse that I just met, because my doctor told me that he would provide me an overnight nurse. She was she on the floor beside me? I think she was in a chair beside me. She was beside me, but she wasn't far away. Because, like, right when I was waking up and looking around, she was right there at my side, y'all. I don't know her name. I don't know her name because she was just always right there to help me. Um, but yeah, I said to her, I said, "Mochila." Mochila is Spanish for book bag. And my book bag had my stuff in it, my money. And she was like, "Okay, okay." She didn't speak no English, no English. So she went and got my book bag for me. And I advised, if you don't know Spanish, you just need to know the basics at least. Like, I knew how to tell her to get my book bag, mochila. You need to learn how to say purse or whatever. I told her I needed agua. She went and got me some agua and some soup. And she told me to drink really slow and to just kind of sip slow to make sure I don't have any effect from the anesthesia. I drank the bottle slow and I was hungry. She got me some soup. I ate, and this was about 7 o'clock. And I texted my family like I made it. I ate. I was cool. I was chilling. And then I would say a little bit later, I just was getting shakes. Like, I was just shaky and I couldn't do too much. I just felt like super shaky and cold. She got me another blanket. I was just, I don't know. It felt weird and I could not breathe. Like, I wasn't struggling for my breath. I knew it would be hard to breathe with the muscle repair. So I knew not to scare myself and say, "I can't breathe. Somebody help me." I knew it. I knew what the case would be. So I was just kind of forcing myself to take slow breaths, just relax. Thankfully, I had a catheter in me, so I didn't have to get up and go to the bathroom. I was throwing that water back, y'all. And it was crazy when I got to the recovery house, when I was drinking that water, I kept pissing on myself. Y'all, I kept peeing on myself. It was crazy. Uh, what happened after that? Oh, and I remember around 10 o'clock, I was like, okay, the numbness is wearing off. I'm starting to feel pain. I had my pain medicine in my book bag, and I took oxycodone. Yeah, no, I took Tylenol 3 because I knew Tylenol products you can do that. Some heavy narcotics doesn't work good with the anesthesia, so I knew I wasn't gonna take my oxycodone until a couple days post-op because I didn't want like any interference with anything. Don't take no perks or nothing like that. You will be fine with Tylenol 3, which is really just regular Tylenol, but 4 pills of Tylenol and that one pill of Tylenol 3 plus codeine. I would not advise you to take 4 Tylenol extra strength to try to improvise for Tylenol 3, but you don't need no heavy narcotics the first couple of days post-op. Um, the overnight nurse explained to me that she worked at the hospital. At this point, she had her translator out, and we was translating back and forth to each other on the app. And she explained to me that she worked at the hospital and that she was off duty and she would be sleeping on the floor next to me, and it was another girl, and that when she got up at 6 o'clock, she had to go back to her regular job at the hospital still and work, but she would be checking on us until the doctor's nurse assistant came up to help us. So throughout the night, she was right there the whole time, getting water, making sure we was good, just very sweet. I didn't have any accidents like throwing up, no pooping or nothing like that. She changed her IV drip to like help keep us hydrated. Now, one thing that I didn't like in the morning when it was time for her to go back to her regular shift, she had changed the IV drip and left. Made sure they brought us breakfast and whatnot. But my IV drip wasn't working. It was not working, and it was actually leaking from my hand. And I'm like, either this drip came out or something ain't right. But any of the other nurses at the hospital, they did not help at all. Like, you try to say something to them, they'll kind of look at you and kind of think like, yeah, I know what she's saying, but they really don't know, and they kind of are so busy they forget about you. So if you can like seriously hire an overnight nurse that you hired yourself and pay and make that connection with, do so. If I would have known that I would have still needed her a little bit longer past the time when she had to go start back her her job at the hospital, I would have had somebody, else to step in place. And I was told that she was $70. And I put the money out my book bag and I'm like, here you go. She was surprised. Like, maybe she didn't know she was supposed to get paid, or maybe my doctor, the money that I paid to her, had already paid for the nurse. I wasn't clear on those directions, but I gave her the money because that's what I told it cost. Here you go. She did a good job. And I appreciate her for being there when I woke up and getting me water throughout the night and just having somebody to check on me and ask me if I'm okay. Because I was a little nervous, but I'm like, I'm alive. I made it. I need to make it through the next couple days. Make sure I'm getting no blood clots or nothing like that. And once I hit, a couple days post-op, I'm gonna let my family know I'm good. Y'all ain't gotta make no fish fry, no spaghetti dinners, and sell plates to get money together for, don't start no GoFundMe page. I'm good. Because, yeah, I've been hearing some stories about here. But it's not crazy like some people make it. I never felt unsafe while here at all. Out in the Uber, at the clinic, I never felt unsafe. You just got to watch the people around you. Don't look like you're scared or nervous. Don't look like a target, okay? Because that's when you become a target. I got So it was 8 o'clock in the morning when my nurse left and went to her other job, no 6. And it was around 8 o'clock when she had brought back breakfast. I ate the breakfast, and they got really, really good oatmeal here, y'all. So make sure y'all eat the oatmeal because it's good. Ate my oatmeal, and then she told me that my doctor's assistant would be coming up to see me. Now, when the doctor's assistant came up, this is the nurse assistant, she put me in my faja, and Lord, she was so rough. Oh my goodness, like I was in pain. She like wiped me off a little bit with the baby wipe, put this on me, and I had been told from other vets and seen, the faja digs in your underarms, it digs under your breast, and like right by your cap, and to put big pads so it's not like rubbing on you and irritating you. And I asked the sister, I'm like, can you use this? She like looked at me like I was crazy, like no. And then like she put the faja on and I laid down, and then I'm like, can you put this here? Like, and I tried to do it myself because at that point I felt like she wasn't gonna help me. But she decided to like push it down there, and it felt so much of a relief because the faja was digging on my pum pum. I had to make sure it wasn't gonna be hurting me. Whew. So what happened after that? Um, the assistant came put the faja on. It was out the door. My roommate, or my time at the time, the person, the other girl that had surgery with the same doctor next to me, her recovery house was coming to get her. They sent the driver, they cleaned her up, they took out the IV, took out the catheter for her. And I'm just sitting there like, when my driver coming, when I'm going back to the recovery house. A couple hours went by. It was around 1 o'clock when the nurse, that the overnight nurse that had stayed with me, came in the room. She like, you still here? I'm like, yeah. She left, came back, and was like, okay, a driver is coming to get you. He'll be here soon. She undid my IV, took out my catheter, helped set me up, put on my clothes so I could go. And she was so sweet and gentle, y'all. And it was like, your driver will be here soon. I'm like, okay. Another hour go by, and I did have my phone out, but I didn't want to like keep using my battery until I had got back to the recovery house. So I turned the power saver on and put my phone in my book bag. And I guess at that point, my driver had actually came and was calling me. I didn't know, but he finally found me around 2 o'clock, I think. He found me. They put me in this little rink-a-dink wheelchair. My driver left to go get the car. The hospital rolled me out, right? And would y'all believe this? Why the driver did not even get out the car to help me get in? He was in the driver's seat with his seatbelt on, ready to pull the fuck off. And the guy from the hospital pushed me in a wheelchair. He kind of like, okay, my job is to push you out to the door. It's his job. He needs to help you. And I'm just like, I just kind of had to figure it out. So the hospital guy, he helped me stand up, and I got in the car and just, I don't know how I did it, but I made it in there. The driver, he doing his thing, texting, driving, hitting little bumps here and there. And I'm like, I'm gonna tell y'all a story about this driver, because another situation happened with this same driver. I was like, I don't ever want to be in the car with this motherfucker. Y'all. So, and then while we were driving, right, he had the air conditioner on. Then he would turn it off. He would let it get cold in the car. I don't know if he was trying to save on gas or what it was, but he didn't speak no English. He would turn the air off and wait for it to get 90 degrees in the car before he turned the air conditioner back on. We finally make it to the recovery house. I'm like exhausted at this point. Mind y'all, I had ate at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's now 2, 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And in the morning, all I had was some oatmeal, some juice, and water. Now I'm like, I'm hungry. It's hot in this car. We pull up to the recovery house once again. He said, you want your bag? Once again, somebody came in the room for dinner. But once again, we pull up. The driver's like, you want your bag? Oh, you speak English now. I said, yeah. He got my bag out the back seat and put it in my lap. I'm fresh out of surgery. Now, mind y'all, my other driver that I had before, when I was pre-op, he would open the door, close the door, help me get in and out. When I had to go to the oxygen chamber, I always had 2 people on my side helping me in and out the car, fresh out of surgery. Oh boy, did not help me out the car. He put my bag in my lap and waited for the ladies from the recovery house to help me out. He sat right there in that driver's seat. Craziness, y'all. Craziness. They would treat you in your kind of way. And if I knew some Spanish or could say to him quick, something, but girls from recovery house helped me out. I go in the house and I was dizzy. I was hot and hungry and used all the strength that I had in me to get out the car. So I'm sitting there and they asking me questions, and I don't like how I was at the other recovery house and they told me that I was supposed to be at this house, and that when I came from surgery they would move my stuff here, because I didn't know none of the girls here. I didn't know where my room was. My stuff was not unpacked and ready for me to go. The staff here didn't know who I was. They're asking me questions and I'm like, no habla espanol, da da da, and they trying to figure out who I am. Next thing I know, I'm like just sitting there dizzy, and I'm like, I need to get up. I need to go lay down. They're like, you hungry? Come to the table, sit at the table. You can't go lay down. Like, they didn't want to let me upstairs or wherever my room was. I guess maybe they were trying to figure out where they were going to put me. But I was tired and I was dizzy. I get to the table, y'all. Why did I damn near passed out? I'm sitting there like, they holding my head up. They putting cold water on me, cold rag. They got alcohol pads. When you feel dizzy, alcohol pads would help. I don't know what it do, but that shit helped. They brought the alcohol and they was rubbing my nose with alcohol and water, and they trying to pretty much figure out like, is she okay? Like, what's going on? Then they brought me food, and I was like, after like 2 minutes, maybe I felt good. Like they had cooled me down, and the alcohol pads. So I started eating. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm eating. I ate that food so quick. I was like, I'm good, y'all. How y'all doing? You know, I was back happy. But yeah, coming home from the hospital, and you'll joke, y'all. Make sure, when you're getting picked up. I think if I would have known that I would be staying at the hospital longer and my driver wouldn't be picking me up until 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I would have probably ate lunch at the hospital or asked for something to eat, because I had went a long time without something to eat. And then that IV drip that my nurse had put in at 8 in the morning, it had stopped working, and she was like, doing her regular job. So I didn't have like an overnight nurse right there with me that could have checked it and seen that it wasn't working properly. I was dehydrated. So that is what I have to say for now. So that is what you can expect when you first get here and your day of surgery. I hope your experience is a little bit better, more personal. But it doesn't necessarily have to be. But, don't get yourself overworked about this. um, it's something big to worry about, and make sure you're prepared. But once you know you're prepared, it's okay. You're going to be good. You're going to be good, because I made it. So many other dolls made it. And you got to keep it moving. Stay strong. Be positive. Keep positive people with you. And just prepare for everything and anything that may come up and get in the way. Have high expectations, but don't get your feelings completely hurt when it doesn't go as you expected. Keep sending me some inboxes and questions and stuff to do videos on. And if you want a little bit more in detail on other stuff, I will let y'all know that. Also, wait. Also, these mosquitoes is crazy out here, y'all. Make sure you bring mosquito spray, because these mosquitoes is something else. Try to pack what you need. I think I underpacked, because I was told so many times, you don't need all those clothes, you don't need this, you don't need that. Everything that I brought, I used. I even had to borrow a dress from one of my roommates, because my recovery house only does laundry every other day or something like that. But it was advertised that they did laundry daily, or not daily, but they had laundry services. So I only brought 2 outfits. Them 2 outfits was dirty by the time laundry day came around. But I'm gonna put that in the recovery house review. So, yeah, take care, Glam crew.